Hello my dear Pisces, this is your love and spirituality reading for the time between May 1st and May 15, 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. So I read for the signs in the order of most liked videos. I have also put up a voting for the final order to reading. So don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for your sign so it will become one of the first to be voted for. I will put astrological information for the month of May in a video of its own that you can check out in my playlist Q&A. You can also find it at my webpage www.queenofcupstarot.se. This month I'm doing a collaboration with my friend and mentor Miri to present her brand new channel Emia Soleil Dreamwork. So please check it out and subscribe to her channel. For this reading, I used the Osho Zen Tarot by Deva Padma, and I will start shuffling your cards. So, when I open your deck here, I see a celebration to your cups in the reversed, and for the Rebel, it's the Emperor card also in the reversed. So, it seems like you either have a little bit hard time to get your masculine side to have fun, or maybe there's some masculine person in your life that refuses to connect with you or refuses to make this beautiful love situation with you. This is the kind of love that you share with your very best friend, your lifelong romantic partner, between children and parents, and women over generation. So it's a very beautiful, delicate card, but when it's in the reverse like this, is a person resisting this, doesn't want to be a part of it. It's like tearing down instead of building up this relationship, or like a rebel without a cause, a little bit destructive. So like wanting something but acting like they don't, or acting like it's useless. It's some kind of disrespect also here. Okay. So I call the divine with love and light, and here we have the consciousness in the reverse together with the rebel. So there might be a person or even you, Pisces, that darn out like lying about what they really want. It's like this story again with the fox and the tree with berries in. We have a beautiful tree here in Sweden. It's a sacred tree, so if you have it in your yard, you're not supposed to take it down. And in the winter it gets red berries. That's it's a big party for the birds. But this story, it's about a fox that wanted these berries a really cold winter because it was starving, and it was very hard to find mice underneath the hard ground and the deep snow. And a bird was kind of asking the fox that was jumping up and down the tree if they wanted them to maybe throw down some berries to this fox, but the fox didn't want it. So in Sweden we have a saying that it's sour. The fox said, these berries are sour. I don't want your darn berries, okay? Take your darn berries yourself. So we say sour as the berries, as the fox said, because it's something that you want, but you pretend like you don't want it. We have the hangman in the reversed here. So it's like, I don't want to be ridiculously made, or I don't want to show my vulnerability. I don't want you to see that I'm hurting. I don't want you to see that I have a problem, or I'm in this sticky situation. It's some kind of pride here, and therefore we become also liars. So we don't say how it really is because we don't want anyone to feel sorry for us, or maybe think that we are weak and going for our throat. So if you're dealing with a difficult masculine energy here, it might be because they are vulnerable. They feel vulnerable, so they're trying to act the opposite, like really, really tough. And that's probably very confusing in this situation, because they are lying to themselves, they are lying to you and the whole world. But it's just because a person that is believing in power, okay, that to get ahead above other people or ahead of other people. You need to show yourself that you are not vulnerable, that you can take whatever crap comes along, and that you don't need anyone else. And it's a long list here with stupid things. Okay, so I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world, and here we have isolation in the reverse together with the rebel. So I'm thinking this rebel here is actually starting to feel a lot of pain, and it wants to come through. It's like when you have a wound and it become a crust over it and it actually healed, but it's still something infected inside of there, so it wants to come out. Okay, and you're trying to resist it because you thought that this wound was already healed, but it's not. Okay, so isolation is some kind of pain that wants to come through, and we need to acknowledge it. And if this is another person in your life, it's probably it's mirroring something within you, where you also try to act tough, and maybe you don't trust that other people will be there for you, so you don't show your true face, or you don't tell them how much it hurts. And it can be fine, because we need to kind of take care of our own traumas, our own pain. No one else can digest it for us. We need to do it ourselves, but it's always good to have a friend to lean on, like someone that you can talk to and open up to, and tell how it really feels. Because when you're talking or communicating with someone else, the problem will kind of be easier to see, and might even dissolve in the light of attention. So when you are talking with your friend about your hopeless husband that always trying to be so cool and can't admit to being hurt, or that he needs to go to the doctor, so when you're talking about this with your friend, the friend might actually reveal something about you where you are kind of similar in this situation. Well, you didn't want to admit to that you needed help back then when you were in depression. So it's kind of the same thing. I think you can understand your husband here, and maybe you can give him the same advice that you used for yourself to get yourself out of this situation. So it's always good to communicate with the surrounding and get some good reflections of the matter. Okay, so I call the 6 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit. This is kind of solar plexus energy. It's your soul, it's your creation power, it's the longing that you have, and it comes in the reverse. So it's like your light is dimmed. It's probably because there's some kind of misconception here. You think that you are cool and full of your energy when you don't admit to things, but actually you're dimming your own light, or this person is dimming their own light. Admitting to things, it's putting attention to it so it can heal. And if we try to be all cool and hiding behind our sunglasses, that's just making us unreachable for our own soul's energy. Okay, it might make us look very cool and make people like curious with us, because it's like we are a little bit mysterious, but it's not going to be really helpful in the long run. So fire, water, spirit and ether to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Pisces viewers. So here we have the Miser. It's number 4, so it's connected to the Emperor, and the Rebel. It's the same card. And then we have change in the reverse. So I'm thinking there's someone stubbornly that doesn't want to change. They know what they have, but they don't know what's going to come. So it's a great resistance here, doesn't want to work together with the divine. It's like this astronaut I have been telling you about earlier, lost in space. We all went on our separate ways on different missions, and some kept connection still with ground control, like with the divine, but while others were lost in space. And because due to this loss, they were lost, they needed to take care of themselves, and they might have ended up on really hostile planets, needed to fight their way through to survive. And when we are trying to reach them now, it's like they have been raised by wolves, so they are not really reachable. When the divine wants to reconnect with them, they can't reconnect with them because they are not in this vulnerable state, so they can feel their feelings and therefore communicate to the walkie-talkie of emotions, and they don't want to admit to the truth, like what the mind is trying to say them either. They just want to keep on surviving. It's like a person being in override survival mood and therefore becoming very hard to get or hard to reach or hard to communicate with. So it's because of trauma. They have been forced to be in a survival mood for a very long time. You might have been born in difficult circumstances when you were an astronaut here on Earth, and it might have done its number on you, or this person which you are mirroring. It's just mirroring something within yourself. So yes, I want my dear Pisces to have love in their lives and find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have this is the Page of Wands. I want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. So we have the Tower and moment to moment here. So there's some this person, this astronaut that got lost in space, to getting back, he's like in this little bit hysterical state where he's just trying to survive, even if he's being taken to prom and or to a nice dinner or to a movie. They will be in survival mood and think that everything that happens, like someone playing really loud on the drums, that's war, that's like a war signal, or they're coming like an aeroplane flying through the sky when they are walking across the street to the theater. They think it's a bombing. Okay, so this is a person that's being like ready for anything. And to get them out of this mood, or get yourself out of this mood, you just need to let the reaction be there, like the little bit hysterical reaction and this hostile reaction, and immediately believing that everyone else is the enemy or someone is out to get you. Okay, fine. So they might be out to get me. So what's the worst thing that can happen? So you need to put yourself in a little bit more watching mood, just trying to see what's going on with you and how like really intense reaction you have. So it will take like a step to step energy, or you need to make things step by step to come through this passage, because it's a little bit it's like the divine is trying to tear down your walls here, trying to tear down what it is that you have built up to protect yourself against a hostile environment where you ended up. And now they need to tear this down so they can reconnect with you. So there will be a transition period where the old and the new will exist in the same time. The old panic and the new awareness in the same time. Okay, so you're going through some kind of transition where the divine wants to reconnect with you. Okay, and it might be shown as I said on the outside, like you trying to connect with a partner or a friend or the world in general, but it's really the divine is trying to reconnect with you. Okay, so let's see if we are finally done here. Of course, going with the flow and a harmony. So this is Alpha and Omega within the Cups suit. So the emotions want you now. Okay, you can't, if you resist them, they will keep on screaming louder and louder, as with the Tower. And if you still don't listen, it might even happen an accident, like with the Tower energy. It's from whispering to club, like a hammer to the head. It starts and it increases in energy. If you don't listen, eventually the divine wants to reconnect with you. Okay, and it seems like they wants to reconnect with you first and foremost through your emotions. And your emotion, Pisces, is your superpower, but it might have made you super sensitive also in this very hostile environment which you found yourself in, and therefore you felt the need to shut this hypersensitive off, and therefore you became very guarded and maybe very suspicious and kind of expecting the worst all the time. And therefore you have closed off, and all the feelings that has been is bottled up in you. And how to reconnect now with the divine is to let all these difficult feelings be there. Just let them be there, and keep some attention on them, because this is going to free them from the position where they are right now, bottled up, and into a more fluid state, so you can reconnect with your intuition, with the divine, with your own emotional system. You become vulnerable again. The war is over. You are supposed to step into a more civilized state of your own being, where you're not always ready for the next bombshell or disaster. Okay, so go with whatever you find with your feelings, and whatever you love, and whatever you like, and whatever you want, and just see, like, be very curious, like you are investigating some strange creature on another planet, and that's is you. Okay, so it's ready. I will just tune into you and your energy for a few seconds here. So my dear Pisces, this is your future, and this is your now, and this is the past. So the past will probably April, but can be your whole life as well. And we have ordinariness here. It's the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is normally a card where we really try our best to do the best we can to cooperate with others. But since it comes in the reverse, it's like this little bit... I can do it on my own, I don't need you kind of energy. So a person may be diving deep into their work because they can't seem to get their personal relationship to work, for example. And we have this ace of both the aces behind here and the 10 harmony. So if you have the willingness, like we have free will, and if you use this free will that you want to connect again, then there's going to also be a connection. Okay, so if you want to connect with your intuition again, and with your trauma again, or all the pain that has been there, then there will be a connection, and you will be able to dissolve whatever needs to be dissolved. Okay, and here we have the now, and it's the politics, Seven of Swords in reversed. It's again talking like about a liar, and here you have the Knight of Cups in reversed. So Pisces actually, but these two cards together in a normal reading, I would say that this is a you should watch out on the love arena, because there might be people there playing with your feelings, not showing their authentic self, not showing who they really are. And I'm thinking it's like this person really wants to have connection with others, but wants so to no cost of their own. They don't want to invest anything. They want to be on dry land. The other people can, you know, have broken hearts and everything. You will just have the fun of it all, but not the real work. So this can be you, or it can be just mirrored on the outside of you. So a person that wants to invest in love but doesn't want to invest themselves. They rather invest the other person, their feelings, their assets, their thing, as long as this person doesn't lose anything in the bargain. So it's the classical classical symptom of a person being rather selfish. And why they are selfish is because they are not grown up. They are children, and children in some kind of maturity phase where they need a lot of things from other people, but they don't want to give. So we have these kind of phases we are going through as children, where we become a little bit spoiled, and we are acting like we are the center of the world, because we don't really know if other people are for real, and if they are having the same feeling as do we. So it's a kind of a state, but it can go on up in adulthood if we haven't matured above that level. So it seems like a person doesn't really know if other people are for real, and therefore putting themselves first and not risking themselves in any way. And if we don't risk ourselves, we can't really connect with other people, because it's in our vulnerability when we open up to another person that we really start to connect for real. And this person doesn't want to connect. It may want to have like a lot of appreciation from other people, and see if this person and that person is interested in me, and maybe that firm wants to hire me and that, but I'm not going to give them anything. So okay, we'll see where it goes with that. And this is the future. So the future 7, the stress, is going into the second part of May. And this is Mars in Leo. So it's a little bit warrior energy. And it's like a one-man band. One person trying to be everything for themselves, because they probably don't want to risk letting someone else in. So they are fulfilling their own needs in the best way that they can, but we know how this is going to end up. No one can keep this up forever, and we have death here, but it comes in the reversed, and the creator in the reversed. So this is almost looking like I saw this space movie. I really don't remember in which one it was, but it was a person that had been left in space, and he sent out signals that this planet was a beautiful place, so there will come rescue, because the rescue could only come to one of these places where they have sent astronauts, and he wanted to, he weren't no longer able to sacrifice himself, so he wanted the rescue, even if it meant that everyone would die except from him. It didn't matter. So, and when the rescuer came, he tried to steal their ship. So it's a little bit like this kind of mentality what I'm seeing here. And since this person is acting from a very hysterical point of view, they are going to wreck it for everyone, not only themselves, but for also their surrounding. So either you're dealing maybe with a person that's like a child and have a little bit of narcissistic tendencies. Also might be like children can be on the brink of being sociopaths or psychopaths before they grow up and understand that you can't take the wings of a fly because it hurts and it's not nice, and you are not supposed to bully other children. Or yes, if you have good guides, parents and teachers and things, you will get out of these states and you will become a good person. But here we have a person that's clearly still in this state. Okay, so we'll see. Here we have the past, and we have the master in reverse. So yes, what was sent away was a master. It was someone in this movie, it was someone that was really trained for this mission, and they were like the brightest of the brightest, but still under pressure they cracked, and they became this selfish person that couldn't have the greater whole, the good for the greater whole in their mind. They became very selfish and also self-destructive. So they even the most educated person, the most enlightened person can fall. Okay, so it's what I'm seeing here, like person falling a little bit, and they had their everything together, and now they are starting to losing things because they are underneath great pressure. And it's probably just it's the meaning. It was supposed to be like this, that the master would be sent out, and they will become they would crack under great pressure, because this what was you or this other person wants to experience. And if this is mirrored on the outside of you, really difficult people, they are there for a reason, not to make you go insane, but to make you learn something important. And you usually don't learn when there's just unicorns and rainbows everywhere. When there's some kind of challenge, that's when you are put to the test and you need to perform at your limits. So it's like a person here needing to perform on their limits, both maybe a victim and a perpetrator. So both are pushed to their limits. Let's see what will come out of this equation. Yes, suppression. This is being pushed to your limits. This is a person trying to be good. Probably the master, when he landed on this planet, he wanted to he wanted to be like this great person, sacrificing himself for the greater good of humanity. But the loneliness crawled up on him, and he tried to suppress it. He tried to, like, okay, so I'm feeling lonely, but this is for a greater cause. And then it came another thing and another thing and another thing, and he really tries to keep himself down and try to not become hysterical, try to not have, like, do something reckless, something stupid, something that wasn't calculated. He tries to keep to the plan, but it's getting too much. We are seeing this. It's like becoming like a volcanic eruption is going to go off here. And we also saw the tower earlier. So a person underneath great pressure. And here we have Five of Swords. Five of Swords is like this situation where we want to win over another person. I am better than you because I am a bamboo. I'm much more flexible, and I can feed pandas. What can you do? And the pine tree or the oak tree is saying, well, I feed the squirrels, so that's something. And there's like a comparison between these two. Who's the best? Who's the most glorious? Who has the right to do this? Who has the right to do that? And who wins in the end? So it's like this human mind when it's on a power trip a little bit. And a master would say, well, I think you're gorgeous, bamboo. And I think you are right. You are very unique. You can really feed the pandas, and that's something I couldn't do. But this thing that the master just said might make the other person like even more narcissistic, or even more pampered, even more spoiled. So you might be in a situation where you are feeling like the other person needs to hear this. It's like you're pampering them, you're protecting them from their own self. You are protecting them from their own destructiveness by being the bigger person. Okay. Next card, it's the understanding, and it's the Page of Cups. So it's like you're trying to get someone that's a little bit... you see that they are under big pressure. You understand that they have gone through some great trauma. Something has locked them inside this cage to begin with, and you want to lure them out. So you are trying to be a good example and rise above and not take their problems personally, like a master would do. Wouldn't confuse what someone else is saying to be about themselves. You are ugly. Okay. So nice. No reaction, because a master is someone that's whole. You can't touch a person of Tao because they are healed. There's nothing to be touched. Nothing. It's no feeling rising there. Oh, they think I am ugly. No, it's just I love myself. I know who I am. I don't even have to be pretty. I just have to be myself because I was born this way. So like an oak tree can be very like filled with like different shapes and not be so smooth, maybe like the bamboo, but it lives forever. So it's like maybe an old troll with the great wisdom and being. It's like this oak tree is the tree of Zen, while the bamboo is new and fresh and young all the time, doesn't even get to the age of being mature like the oak. So the oak tree doesn't take it personally because the bamboo doesn't know how it is to be an oak tree. So I'm thinking there's a lot of compassion here for this person that seems to be so aggressive and wants to win, and they are bottling things up inside. So it's great. It's beautiful. But here we have the flowering. So the flowering is the Queen of Pentacles, and she doesn't have real boundaries. And in the reverse, it's it can be a number of things, but I'm feeling like she's leaking energy. It's like a person becoming codependent. So instead of showing a good mirror towards this person and reflecting whatever they are doing or saying back to them. So for example, okay, so you say that I'm ugly. Are you saying this because you want to win a point, or are you not loving yourself? What is your problem, since you are spreading this not love around you? So that would be somewhat what showing like the mirror to the person. But here is the person that's just take this. It's like they are being a dustbin for this person, that they understand that they are in the distress, and they know that there's a beautiful soul inside of there, and they want to lure this beautiful soul out with love. But while doing so, it's like you're carrying this person's load, and they can never grow up because they can never see themselves. So imagine a person, a child that has never been under some kind of challenge. Their parents have always scooped them up and being the hero of the day, and they don't even know how to make a sandwich, and they don't even know how to be like empathic towards anyone else, because the parents have always been empathic to them but didn't care about teaching the child to be empathic towards the parents. So never saying, well, look, this is my reality and I can't buy this to you, because you need to start to earn your own money. So never, this pressure never came for this child. So they're coming out and they are being like, the burdens of the world is on their shoulder, because they feel like they are helpless. They need to get everything from the outside. They have never learned that they are strong within themselves, and that they can go to these resources and take themselves through. So they always need to win over you. They always need to prove themselves better than you. They always need to outsmart you or manipulate you or whatever is going on. So it's just the person being, they might have a beautiful soul, but what they are showing here is like lack of maturity, and they are trying to take as many people as possible with them in the fall. I feel like crap, so I want to make you feel as crap too. This person, on the other hand, doesn't feel like crap and feel like I'm strong enough to carry this person. So you keep on with the thing that their parents once did. And people can become this without being spoiled. It can be also persons that spoiled one day and then smacked around by the parents the next day. It will have kind of the same effect. Okay. So this is your it's your now, and it's the first half of May, and here you have the Knight of Swords. So it's this, it's like a person having a battle with themselves. They are so angry with the world. They are so ready for this combat. They have been brought up by wolves or by like empaths that never made them see another side of the story. And they are like always ready to fight for their right to something. We don't know what it is. It's probably something that they don't really need. It's just they believe that they need this. So sometimes we can have these arguments with a person that's not really angry with us and doesn't even know that we have a beef with them. So it can be this, we are going past the neighbors, the neighbor every morning, and we are giving them the crossed eye because they put some like their garbage bin fell out on our yard and the crows were eating from it. We picked it up, and the neighbor doesn't even know this with the crows, but we're always going around hating them. And the neighbor doesn't know, so he doesn't have the problem. The problem is with the person that has the hate, that has the beef. Okay, the other person might not know it. It's like taking poison and hoping that the other person will die. In this case, it's also Gemini. The air suit isn't that flattering in this deck, but it's because it wants to show what the mind is doing to people, how the mind is making us living in a world that's not really true. Because we have a beef here about the dustbin, and it's not really a real beef. It's just something we feel unjustly treated because we had to pick up something that the wind blew down and the crows spread out, and the neighbor doesn't even know about it, but it's still their fault. Because we can't handle feelings like this. No one taught us how to handle feelings like this. So we need to blame. It's the blaming game. It's their fault. It's what they did. We can even be angry with dead things like our computer or the vacuum cleaner or this dishwasher or whatever. So we go around having a beef here with someone or the whole world. and we are this rebel without a cause, and it's about to break free from its leashes here as well. So it looks a little bit dangerous, like if this person comes free, what will happen? They might be underneath the pressure of social conventions, so they know if they do things like out in the open, other people will react and do something about it. So they might be a little bit sneaky in their ways. We saw a little bit of the like the Ace of Swords card in the reverse, for example, like, and Seven of Swords, liar, liar, pants on fire. So if a person can do sneaky things behind your back, or where the blame can't be put on them, or there's something like this going on. But here they might become like a little bit hysterical, and they might show themselves in full bloom. That can also, as I said, be dangerous, because a person show their, if they're hiding their narcissism or sociopath tendencies, they can pass for a normal person, and you just feel like something is a little bit off and you need to help them in some way because they don't seem to be in touch with their feelings. But really what's hiding underneath here might be much more serious. Okay, I don't want to scare you, but it looks serious. Here we have Gemini and Aries. So a person, the worst side of Aries is being very aggressive and like never stop. It's like this rams that's going into like pushing. You can see this these animals with horns, goats, rams, Aries. Okay, different animals can be very stubborn. Capricorn as well, stubborn. Okay, and also, well, all horned creatures can be unbelievably stubborn. So that's the tendency. And also aggression. I saw you looking at my grass. It's my grass, so I'm going to do this towards you until you are dead. So, and here we have the Gemini, this with the mind thinking things that's not really true. It's making its own dramas. So it can be, this is like stuff that can really explode in someone's face. So and here we have creativity, and it's in the reverse. So it's these smothering parents, these over empathic people that doesn't really let anyone else take responsibility. I love you, so I fix everything for you. I love you, so I will do this and this and this. Some of you might not have had like good parents at all taking care of you, but the other way is also bad. Like if a person, their mother abandons them and never teach them how to love, they won't know how to nurture other people or how to be empathic, because they had never had a person that was empathic towards them. So we never want to go to extremes with things. We never want to abandon our children. We don't want to smother them either. And we want to do something in the middle. But here we have two parents that's making a child a little bit crazy, to be honest. Okay, driving them to becoming unbalanced is the best word I can use here. So we have the masculine in the reverse and the feminine in the reverse. So it's like power maniac together with someone that can't ever stand up for themselves. Okay, so this is like really lopsided things, and it's what can happen with a person that's violent, falling in love with someone that isn't violent at all, but actually are really submissive. So this kind of dangerous relationship situation with victims and perpetrators. They can't be a perpetrator without willing victims, and they can't be victims without a perpetrator. So they are kind of in need of each other. The victim might have been victimized for their whole life, and this is their reality. This is how they see things, that this is how it is. I always need to walk on eggshells and try to be real quiet and not do anything that will disturb this person. I can't be myself. I can't even breathe, because then anger will smite down on me. If we are reading the Bible, this is how whole humanity has been raised. we should watch out, because the revenge might come, and the rage, and we might take revenge on the children into the third and fourth lineage if we cross God. So everyone has been raised this way, but here it's like, yeah, it's showing its extremes. It can be sometimes the Old Testament, it's very rough, it's very patriarchal, it's about power, and the New Testament is like kind of the opposite, very spiritual, high teaching. So it's a little bit like the Old Testament becomes whitewashed by the New Testament. If we only would read the Old Testament, we would see that they are racist, power maniacs. There's a dictator there. They are slaying people. It's euthanasia. They are erasing people from the face of the earth. And they bragging about it. 7 people from the land of Canaan is now dead. Hooray, this is our land. So it's rather awful reading. But then comes the New Testament with all this turn the other cheek, and it's becoming like distorted. So it's kind of the Old Testament and the New Testament here. People living accordingly to 2 different rules. And this is kind of feminine, and the Jesus teaching is very masculine, and the Jesus teaching is very feminine. So these 2 energies is clashing here, and it's making a mess in this reading, and maybe in your life also. And here we have consciousness in reversed. So I'm thinking this person that's a little bit more empathic is starting to lie, okay? Starting to say, no, I didn't do that. It wasn't me that put your shoes like this. Someone might have tripped over them, because they don't dare to say the truth, because what will happen if they do? Okay, this person will be super angry with them. So it's like a classical family situation with a family that's not really like in a harmonious state, but actually it's some kind of power dynamics. It's like the Cold War here. If you do something bad, we will bomb you. And here we have the abundance in reverse. So it seems like here we have, again, it's the same thing. Here we have kind of the husband and wife, father, mother, divine masculine, divine feminine in the reversed. And here we have husband and wife, mother and father. It's the minor arcana version of these 2, okay? So it's definitely some kind of big imbalance between the masculine and the feminine in your life. So if you have problems with being masculine, you need to now raise your voice and start to put boundaries, like enough is enough. Or maybe move the hell away from there. Like if you are in these kind of like it's like walking a minefield. This can blow up in someone's face. It can be the most dangerous place for women is in their homes, sometimes with the person that they love the most. And it's a little bit what I see here, but it's of course the extreme situation. For many of you, it will just be like a quarrel between your masculine and your feminine side. And your masculine side is going on a rampage, while your feminine side is over compromising. And you might need to cool your masculine side down, and maybe the shoes in the wrong order isn't such a problem. And this person needs to maybe have a little bit more problems with things like no, yes, I want to, I don't want to. Start to make choices and not lean towards like, I don't know, maybe we can listen to him, what he has to say, and I can take a decision. No, you need to make them yourself. It looks like an ordinary family quarrel, and in many cases it will go to the extremes. It will be like ridiculously clear that something is off. Like this person might have been able to show themselves in some kind of social masquerade costume, so being able to fit in, even though they always were this extreme on the inside. And this person might have like calmed off as well. I'm good. I'm a good person. I always do the right thing. But both are kind of being exposed here. This person is being exposed as as a maniac, and this person is being exposed as like a victim. You like to be a victim. Why do you want to be a victim? Why do you need someone to beat you up? Why do you need someone to bully you? So self-hatred in both cases, I would say. No self-love. Okay. So this politics. Yes, and it can be a person being utterly charming, like when they want something, and then the troll comes out. Okay. So be very careful for if you are on the dating scene and someone that seems very loving and charming, they might be the most dangerous person you have ever known. Okay, so watch out. Okay. Future. So, and here we have new vision. That's the hangman situation. So I'm thinking this person here has low tolerance for hanging. If you would put them in this like the hangman for me is sometimes connected with these old punishment systems where we had people being like stringed up in the square of the middle of the town so everyone could see that they have been doing bad. And maybe in this situation it can be a good thing, like being publicly humiliated, that all people see who this person is. Maybe dragging out the quarrel on the street, like, okay, if this quarrel is going to continue, I'm going to invite the whole family and they can be the judge of this, so I can't have it like this anymore. Dragging it out on the street for everyone to see, because it's something here that should be obvious to all sides in this situation, but it's not. It's like they are caught up in this crazy dynamics that's not really healthy for anyone. And probably it's some kind of addiction in the foundation, like being addicted to pain, being addicted to, like, I need my power rushes, or sometimes also different drugs can make these kind of things happen in a family, because the drug is to getting the high or to feeling the effect of alcohol can be more important than any person. So with the new vision here, there's actually hope, because it seems like the master will return. It's just, it has gone a little bit crazy here because it still believes that it's in war or abandoned or whatever is going on. So when the person can reconnect to their self-love and to the divine, which is wanted by this hangman card, it's like maturing, going through some kind of state that's make you mature into the next level. So this spoiled child, or this wrecked child, or this traumatized child that believes that the whole world is out to get them, is growing up, and okay, so I have a lot of responsibility in this. If I feel bad, it might be because my mind is I letting my mind go haywire, and I let myself become irritated in the smallest thing that doesn't really matter. So going from 3 years old to at least becoming 12 years old, it's a good development. Okay. So, and this vision is connected, it's 12, it's connected with the Empress, so it's some kind of birth. And here we have 8, traveling. It's 8 of Wands. Usually it's a very good card, but here it can be, as what I said, that this person will really show themselves as they are. And as they are might be something that you might feel is like out of hell. Something that's really difficult, something that they have suppressed for a really long time might break free and come out here. But when it's seen, at least we can do something about the problem. Okay, when we see it in full daylight, when the monster comes like in the square, everyone can see it. It's not a secret anymore. It's just not like luring in the darkness, eating people and leaving no witness. Now everyone can see the monster in full headlight. Okay, full daylight. Okay, even. So, okay, next. And here we have existence. So this was a cool card coming. It's the Magician, and it comes through the Emperor and the Master. Okay, so it's this person that felt like the whole world is against me and I'm at war, is finally kind of waking up. And because the world is reflecting back, they are seeing their mirror and they see, oh, I'm a monster. Because they finally exposed themselves. They the conditioning kind of fell off them, and they showed themselves as the monster that they were. And in that moment, it was like they realized, so this is what I have become. And also seeing these things that maybe I don't have to do all these things. I'm working myself up to a frenzy with my forehead, like the pulse in my forehead is pulsating, and my heart is squeezing in my chest. It's almost like I'm causing myself a heart attack. This is how upset I am. And to what reason? What is it that's making me this upset? So it's some kind of awareness waking up here. And it's by its being exposed. So when one side stops spoiling the other side needs to live with themselves. So if this person decides, well, I don't want to be bullied anymore, so I'm leaving you, and I will leave you without any possibility to connect with me. We have the Ace of Swords, like message here in the reversed. So you will never get in connection with this female person again. And then this person have no one to blow off on despite themselves. So then they can be faced with, this person has probably pampered their rage in cotton and prevented bad things from happening. Now there's no buffer anymore. So this person needs to wake up or kind of self-destruct themselves into eternity. Okay. And here we have the outsider. So this person here definitely have some problems with self-esteem. Okay, they feel like they're worthless, so they not worth more than this. They are not worthy of love. Okay, their parents didn't love them, or they just loved them when they were performing or doing something nice. So now they feel like they are worthless. What they need to do is install mommy and daddy and inside themselves to take care of this orphan child. So when they leave the monsters behind and not leaving their phone number, they are actually becoming their own father. So they had like the father here in distorted version, and now their father inside of them has the chance to wake up and take them out of this situation. And the mother can also start listening to the child instead of saying, well, don't cry, don't be a ass, of course you should have withstand this, it was not that bad. This is maybe what this voice usually says, but now it's time to say, yes, I acknowledge your feelings, that must really have been hurtful, and we are not going to tolerate you being treated like this anymore. So from now on I will listen to you, and if someone says that if you say that someone hurts you, I'm going to tell to the masculine inside of us, so they can take us out from this situation. So you're getting like starting to heal your own inner family, like the people that's needed to be in you. So you will give yourself more respect, and therefore other people on the outside will eventually start to respect you as well. But it's a start. Okay, no one of these people here is particularly healthy. No one of these people are loving themselves, because then if they did, they wouldn't be in this situation. They wouldn't feel like this if they felt like, I'm okay, I'm fine and nothing is wrong with me. If they felt like this, they wouldn't have this drama. The last card is the breakthrough, and it's in the reverse, which worries me a little bit, because we have the Five of Swords, like a war here, consciousness in the reverse, no one being particularly conscious, and the Justice, truth in the reverse as well. So I think only the victim in this situation can really stop this craziness by getting the H out of there. Okay, this person is about to wake up, but I'm thinking they won't wake up until they find themselves left and not being able to have someone that pampers them anymore. The pampering is on the other side, and they left no note. Okay, so they are gone, they are out the door, and you can't reach them. So who will take care of me right now? That will probably make them go into a slippery slope, but they go there together with their awareness Okay, they're knowing that this is me. So they now are aware that I am doing crazy things. I see what I'm doing and it's crazy. So that's like a start of a wake up. When the person actually, before they just blamed everyone else, but here they are starting to understand, okay, they left me, they must have left me for a reason. And it's ace, ace, and it's going back to abundance here. This is usually Capricorn, might be any earth sign. This is usually Virgo, might be Taurus as well. Here we have Taurus, Aries, Gemini, no Pisces, what I can see. So you can choose yourself who you are. You know who you are in this equation. And here we have stress. So this it's building up to something, and the balloon will blow, but unfortunately it will do so in reversed. So it's a little bit more to fall before you can get up again. But the fall might be like leaving someone that you truly love because they have gone crazy, or finding out that you are crazy. That might be like worse than not knowing. So it's going to become a little bit worse before it gets better. Okay, so I'll read the center card for you, creativity. And remember that it's in reverse, so it will be a little bit different message. So, from the alchemy of fire and water below to the divine light entering from above, the figure in this card is literally possessed by the creative force. Really, the experience of creativity is an entry into the mysterious. Technique, expertise, and knowledge are just tools. The key is to abandon oneself to the energy that fuels the birth of all things. This energy has no form or structure, yet all the forms and structures comes out of it. It makes no difference what particular form your creativity takes. It can be painting or singing, planting a garden, or making a meal. The important thing is to be open to what wants to be expressed to you. Remember that we don't possess our creations. They do not belong to us. True creativity arises from a union with the divine, with the mystical and unknowable. Then it's both a joy for the creator and blessing to others. So I'm seeing this with the Old Testament and the New Testament all the time in my head. The Old Testament people, it was the one that hanged Jesus on the cross, and the New Testament was, of course, Jesus. And nature is unbelievably smart. We can't do the same thing that nature can. It can make like a it's the name, no, it's okay. They can make a bug with a shell that is resistant to dirt. So the bug can't get dirty. It's just can't get dirty. It has a beautiful reflective shell in beautiful like brilliant colors, and it can't get dirty. We don't know how to make a car that doesn't get dirty. Okay, nature is much smarter than us on all levels. All that nature provides is always becoming earth. Okay, the poop is becoming earth. The most the nature's waste is becoming fruitable soil for the next life to come. Human beings can't do that. We are building enormous mountains of garbage that no one can need or use, because it's not becoming food for everyone. It's actually slowly poisoning us, the seas and our land, especially the landfills. That is how it is right now. This is what's being suffocated, okay? This beautiful intelligence has been suffocated, like how we really could do things in harmony with nature, with ourselves. We have tried to overrule ourselves. It's like we don't have a body. There's no limit to how much we can work, okay? Nature has its limits, because it knows that if you use something to its limits, it's gone, okay? It's a lot of species being wasted right now and will never come back, because the last one is dead, or there's just a female left or just a male left. So they are gone, and we are introducing new species to where they have never been before, and they are eating up the rest of the species. So it's like a war is going on between life and death. And the Emperor is actually, it's representing death in this. We have 13, 1 plus 3 is 4, the Emperor, 13, death. So it's like the black hand of death. It wants to own everything and therefore destroying it. And this side, it doesn't know anything else by nurturing life. It knows about nurturing life. And it can't really, like, the nature doesn't know how to lay waste to humans, for example, to get rid of them so the rest of life can nourish. Nature needs to learn to have boundaries, and this is what I'm seeing here. So I'm thinking that there's some kind of battle here, and eventually, hopefully, the good will prevail. And the good is when the masculine and the feminine is in balance, not overly giving and not overly taking, not overly protecting or overly like sharing. So we are reaching to the balance, like both, all of us becoming yin and yang whole within ourselves. So creativity is quality that you bring to the activity that you are doing. It's an attitude, an inner approach, how you look at things. This person look at like everything is someone else's fault. And this person tries to be positive and tries to pamper this person. So the effect of this, what they are thinking here, is not going to actually come to full bloom. So this is a person being rather positive, but it's actually too much. They are sweeping the wrong side of the street, like not their own, but actually everyone else's as well. And that is making these other people spoiled. If everybody is a painter, the world will be very ugly. It will be difficult to live, and not everybody can be a dancer, and there's no need, but everyone can be creative. Whatsoever you do, if you do it joyfully, if you do it lovingly, if your act of doing is not purely economical, then it's creative. If you have something growing out of within you, if it gives you growth, it is spiritual, it is creative, it is divine. You become more divine as you become more creative. All the religions of the world have said that God is the creator. I don't know whether he is the creator or not, but one thing I know, the more creative you become, the more godly you become. When your creativity comes to climax, when your whole life becomes creative, you live in God. So he must be the creator, because people who have been creative have been closest to him. Love what you do. Be meditative while you are doing it, whatsoever it is. And this is kind of this creativity, what you're trying to build here with pampering this person or putting cotton on the bad things that they do so it won't have that bad effect. It's like you're building up and this other side is tearing down. And I think the tearing down side needs to get its consequences. And this side needs to get the consequences of, I have been pampering this person into a monster. I can't do that anymore. So how much you love this person, you can't continue feeding the monster. Okay. And this might be two different sides to you as well. And one side that's overly positive and the other side being overly negative and destructive. Okay. So I'll take a card from the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle. That one, and it's also in the reverse. Blessing of the Kite Dancer. So I'm not sure what you're doing, Pisces, but I know that it will be good in the end. You're going through something that's very difficult, but it just wants to be, like, something wants to be seen. A pattern in your life wants to be seen so it can be freed, so you don't have to do this destructive dance anymore. I see your full potential, and I know that you are willing to develop into all that you can be. I will encourage and guide you. Sometimes I will evoke the best in you through opportunity. Sometimes I will coax forth the best in you through challenge. What you can be assured of is success on this path of self-development. Life has offered you much natural ability and talent. I will help you discover and develop it so that you can offer yourself back to life as a beautiful gift. Even the most impressive natural talent benefits from the guiding hand of a wise mentor. When a student shows particular promise, a teacher may place higher demands upon the student with the intention of drawing forth the talent within, realizing that additional work is needed to truly distill the student's potential. So, okay, I see this, like a person have been showering another person with love, and then this person that didn't know what love truly was, now know what love is. And when the love is gone, they will know this too. Okay, so it's like an increase in the teaching. First, maybe your mission was to give unconditional love also to the most destructive person, to show them that there's another way. But now it's kind of time to take that love away. Okay, it's an increase in the lessons. The teacher is becoming more strict. You have been gifted with a talent and ability. You may or may not be aware of it as yet, but the divine knows it is important for your success in this lifetime to develop it. So you have received a blessing from Kuan Yin. It is that your talent will be nurtured by the divine into its full expression. This is a great gift, to feel the satisfaction of developing your inner potential and expressing it profoundly, satisfying and nourishing for the soul. So I think this person will be very happy when they have learned to put boundaries. That will give them their freedom. This person will be very happy when they start to love themselves and accept themselves, because all their problems are gone. So this is going to be great, but it's just like very difficult right now, because it's like you're going from something that was your natural state before. You just keep on doing this, and one day you woken up and you don't want to do it anymore, and because of you don't want to do it anymore, something will crumble and fall. Maybe a marriage. Okay, and it doesn't have to be the masculine person that's the big villain here. It's just the person that has the masculine trait, like acting like they don't care, can't connect with their emotion. Feminine people can do that too. So it's just the energy. It's not the person or the gender. Okay. So I hope this helped. I want you to take really, really good care, and hide real well if you are exposed to this energy. Okay, and I want to welcome you back to my mid-month May reading that I will perform in the beginning of May. Okay, bye bye.